All right. Hopefully we're live, and hopefully the audio is coming through okay. And yeah, all right. I can see it on my other monitor. So I think we have a few people in the chat. So welcome everyone. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining in. I know all the fold and flip devices. Pretty much most people who have ordered them have already gotten them, posted their videos, done their unboxings. All the people at the event have pushed out a ton of content on them, but mine kind of just arrived last night, and I haven't had a chance to really take a look or open them up. I actually went to Best Buy this morning to pick up the Flip, and so I figured, well, I got some time this afternoon on a Friday, so I figured I'll just unbox it live, and whoever wants to pop in can pop in. And nothing much new I can probably add to the unboxing experience of the conversation, but I've got some time, so I wanted to take a look at it. I usually don't do unboxing videos. I don't think many people on my channel really care about unboxing videos, but if you do, let me know, yes or no in the chat. But I'll probably cut this one up and post it as a separate, shorter video for folks. I think I did that with the S25 launch. So we'll see how this one goes. But I'm just gonna unbox a few things today. I got the actually let me bring it in here. I actually got the Watch 8. Went to Best Buy to pick up the Flip 7, and I've actually got a couple of folds. So I'll ask for your guys' help here. But in the chat, I see we've got a few people: Josh W, Jimmy Fire Dragon, Billy Page, Tara the Hawks TV, and the man himself, Barry Johnson. So thanks everybody for popping in on this Friday afternoon or evening or morning, depending on wherever you are in the world. But again, yeah, I went with the Watch 8 because I already have the Watch 7, and I do have the Galaxy Watch Ultra right here, which I started out on. And then I eventually got a nice deal on this Watch 7. I actually really like the gray band that this one came out with. And I like the silver look and everything. And I actually like the rounder look. I like the slimmer design, the lighter weight design, even though the battery life is maybe just a day. And so I've been actually wearing this one daily for a while now. I've got that one paired up with my S25 Edge right here. Right there. You got to do this, right? You have to do the slim profile for the Edge. There we go. It's so thin that the camera can't pick it up without some help. Anyway, yeah, so that's why I went with the Watch 8. I actually had some FOMO because I saw the unboxing videos of the Classic, and I actually put in an order for the Classic, but I think I'll probably cancel that one. I'll just stick with the 8 just because I don't want to go through the same thing that I went through with the Ultra. Like I picked up this Ultra and I was just like, this is nice and I like the 2-day battery, but it's just kind of big and bulky. And so it's kind of nice to wear every once in a while, but like for everyday use, I just like the 7. It's just more practical, lighter weight. It looks nice. It's more rounded. I like the rounder watch design. And so I didn't want to go through that whole thing again with the Classic and the regular 8. So I just went straight to the 8 this time. I think I'll stick with this. I was thinking about returning this one just because I was really getting FOMO with the Classic unboxings. But, same thing. I don't think I want to go with that bulkier design. I like the lighter weight design. Plus, I didn't pay a lot for this one. I don't think I paid like maybe $100, just over $100 after all the trade-ins and discounts and everything else. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. Yeah, and then we picked up the Flip 7. You can tell what color. I didn't even notice this, but they have the color tabs here to tell which color you got. So that's pretty cool. Picked this up at Best Buy this morning. I'm really impressed that Best Buy had it available on launch day. So, hey Barry, thanks. Looking good. Hopefully the audio's okay. I know this mic isn't the best mic, but it's what I got, so we're gonna go with it unless there's too much clipping or anything else like that. But I try to keep it away from me, and hopefully it's doing okay. I tried out my shotgun mic, but I was getting too much background hiss, probably because of the interface. But this one should be isolating more of the background noise a little bit better. And then beyond these two, I went ahead and got, of course, the Fold here, and you can tell what color, blue, because blue is the color this year apparently. Even Google, with all the rumors with the Pixel 10, not the Pro, they're going to come out with some kind of electric blue like this. Um, but it's pretty much like this, right? I forgot, like the S25 Plus, it's pretty much the same blue, I think. And this is a super nice blue, deep blue color. I like this one. So this one should be the same, I think. But I wasn't sure, and I actually got a better deal on this Fold. So this is the black one, as you can see. I actually got a better deal on this one. And so I'm not really sure which one I wanted to keep, the blue or the black. When I first saw it all go through. I definitely wanted the blue as soon as I saw it because I like the blue on my S25 Plus so much. I figured it looked like the exact same blue. But now that pretty much all the review units are blue, I think everybody ordered the blue, and I don't blame anybody for ordering this blue. This is the color to get, I think, this year. Other than the exclusive color mint, if you want the exclusive color from Samsung, but I think blue is the color of the year. Not just Samsung. Google's going to come out with that electric blue on their Pixel 10. Um, but I'm thinking black to just be different, and black kind of goes with everything. It's kind of boring, but it is the color that goes with all cases, all colors, everything. So I don't know. Let me know in the chat, blue or black. What do you guys think? I think blue is a fun choice. Black is probably the practical choice. And then kind of once I open it, there's no going back. So, but yeah, I'm anticipating it to be like this. I was like, well, I already have the blue S25 Plus, so maybe I'll just go with the black Fold because all my other Samsung devices recently, like this edge is silver, although I have this nice leather kind of white skin on it for grip. Because I didn't want to put a case on this thing because that defeats the whole point of having something so thin and light. So I just went with the skin. But otherwise, this is that, titanium silver color. And my S25 Ultra, well, it's in this Banks case. Shout out to Banks. Not just a channel sponsor, but I actually do like their products. I've been using this ever since I got it. But yeah, this that looks horrible with all the smudges. But S25 Ultra, right there. I like this titanium silver look. I've been getting this on a lot of the recent Samsung devices, and this is a chunky boy. And look at that side profile. That thing is chunky. And I think, sorry for the sidetrack, but Samsung went chunky on the S25 Ultra just because they went with the flat sides. Technically on paper, the S24 Ultra is actually a little bit thicker and definitely heavier. And this is supposed to be thinner, the S25 Ultra, but because I went with the flat sides, it just makes it look way thicker than it probably needs to look. But I know this video is not about that, but we'll let some people come in, kill some time. But there it is compared to the Edge right there. Edge versus Ultra. I don't need to tell you which is which side. And the Edge is way thinner in person. Like at first, you look at this, it looks thin, but it's way thinner and way lighter in person, especially when you look at that USB port. And I've actually enjoyed this. It's kind of refreshing to have something so thin and light in your pocket, especially after using the S25 Ultra for a while. And even after using this Plus for a while, I was using this to get ready for the Edge, just to see, is it really going to be that much more practical than the already kind of thin and light Plus? And it is way light. It actually makes this S25 Plus feel chunky in hand, even though it may not look it in the pictures or in this video here. Like in hand, this Plus is much thicker and chunkier to use. But I do miss the cameras because if you don't use a telephoto lens, like this is going to be perfectly fine for you. You get a good main camera. But I like to use my telephoto. So that's why I have this thing here, Vivo X200 Ultra. Actually, it looks terrible in this case. But this red wine color, man, this is it right here. Although that camera module is pretty excessively thick. I mean, this thing looks like a pancake lens slapped on it. And it does get in the way. It's pretty top heavy, but this camera system is a beast, especially that HP9 sensor. If you got the X200 Pro, you know what I'm talking about. And if I had the money, I would love to get my hands on that Huawei Pura 80 Ultra with an even larger telephoto sensor and a 1-inch main sensor. That thing would be super fun to play with. But I haven't seen a red phone, a nice red phone, in a very long time. I think the last red phone that I really liked was probably the HTC 10 in that red, which I do still have that video on my channel somewhere, I'm sure. That HTC 10 red was kind of like this. But I think this one's actually nicer. It has those kind of darker shades in it, which I really like. And you put this thing in the sunlight, it gets to a lighter looking red. So this is the red with the black matte sides. That phone, nice. Anyway, thanks, Barry, keeping me on track. I'm just letting people come in, man. Relax. So black or blue? Put in the chat. Which one should we go with the Fold? And we'll probably start with the Fold because I'm sure most people want to. I don't know. You've probably already seen this. All right. Put in the chat black or blue Fold. And should we go with the Flip or the Fold first? Unboxing. There's so many Fold unboxings out there. I figured live was at least going to be some fun. And then I'll just clip this down and we'll post it separately just for anybody else, just because. Tara says black. Most have the blue. I know Ike, you got that black. And then Tara, the Hawks TV, I know you got the Flip too, as well as the Fold. Barry says Flip. Let's just go with the Flip first and just get that part over with. I had to trade in my Flip 6 for this, just because they're giving $600 for that. I couldn't pass up that deal, so I can't do any comparisons. But I do believe Jay Will, Smartphone Conversations, he did a comparison of both the 6 and the 7. So Flip 7, there's the blue, Samsung. And this is the 512 gig model, just because that was the free storage upgrade that they're getting for pre-orders. So if you did not get in on the pre-orders, I don't think they have that available anymore as of today. But links are in description if you want to order still. I'm sure Samsung's going to keep pushing out deals. And there you go. And usually Samsung with the inner thing here with a whole bunch of nothing. But we'll do it anyway for completeness. So we got the SIM tool and your usual cable and books, I'm sure. Or not books, but quick start guide. Terms and conditions. All the fun stuff. And then your Type-C to Type-C cable right there. Type-C to Type-C. And that's it. Nothing else in the box. That's how Samsung and everyone else does it now. And then color of the year. We're going electric blue. Or what they're calling this, shadow blue, blue shadow, blue shadow. And actually, let's see something real quick. Same color? Yeah, pretty much same color as the blue and the S25 and S25 Plus. That's nice though. This is a nice blue. I do like it. And then the outer display here. Full outer display this year. Take that off. Put all this stuff away. Throw that aside. Flip7. Just power this on. And let's see if we can have juice on this thing. There we go. That took a while. But Samsung Galaxy don't show the device name anymore. I liked it when they showed the device name in the boot up. But yeah, pretty thin. Let's kind of see. Move that aside. And that there. Okay, flip. But anyway, real quickly. Flip versus Ultra. There we go. Flip slightly taller. Ultra is definitely super chunky, like I was saying before, with those flat sides. I really wish they kept the curved sides from the S24 Ultra. I think that would have been the better way to go, to at least make it look slimmer, because it's technically slimmer. But that's super thick. And then kind of with the Plus model, of course thinner because it unfolds. And really quickly, no idea where I put my edge. Oh well, I'm sure we'll find it at some point. But Flip. We'll do the flip, first flip. There we go. So there's the side profile. No real gap that I can see. They took care of that in the last iterations. There's the hinge. The Samsung Flip. And let's actually look at the crease on this thing, since that's a big sticking point for a lot of people. You can see it there with the lights. There we go. This one seems to be a lot less of a dip in that crease. So not sure if they improved that since the Flip 6 or not, but definitely much better than previous iterations. So we'll just blow by the whole setup here. I don't agree to optional stuff. Set up manually, skip, continue. But this, I think, is supposed to be wider than the Flip 6, so just a bit wider. Obviously, full cover display is the big deal this year. Might have improved that crease. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's more pronounced than the last one, at least from what I can see in that one. Set up later. I just want to get to the home screen. I can reset this up later on my own. Do not send data. Check your region. Have you seen this before on settings? I know this is kind of bright, but I can't turn on the brightness. Depending on your region, we may have to restrict inappropriate content in Samsung apps for minors. And especially calling out Utah. I mean, that makes sense, but I mean, all right, I'm not going to go there, but we'll just say other state. Actually, let's start in light mode. And here's your usual warnings about knowing how to actually use a foldable phone that they've been doing since the very first fold. So if you don't know what you're doing, don't get one of these. And there we go. Let's turn on the brightness. There we go. So there's the home screen. Does this come with EMUI or not EMUI? One UI. Oh, Samsung will be pissed about that one. Software. One UI 8, yeah. One UI 8, Android 16 straight out of the box, May security update, or May Google Play, and June Android security update out of the box. I wish they would just put the gestures on by default instead of the navigation buttons. Who uses the navigation buttons? Let me know in the chat. I've just gone all in on gesture navigation at this point. I don't even know if I could use buttons anymore. That'd be kind of weird to me. See, I'm trying to already use the gestures, so let's use gesture. I probably have to go to navigations. See, it's been so long since I've set up a Samsung phone because I always just copy my stuff over. But let's just go to navigation. General management, no. No. Man. Nav bar. There we go. Swipe gestures. Circle to search, yes. Cool. All right. All right, that was fun. Other stuff in here, display. Let's just go to dark mode already. That looks better. Adaptive brightness, motion smooth is already on adaptive, not standard. Adaptive color tone, I don't like. Nav bar is done. There's nav bar. Accidental touch prevention, touch sensitivity. All right, we're all good. Out of the box, I thought they enabled vertical scrolling. Anyway, so if you don't know about how to enable vertical scrolling, we'll go into three-dot menu, we'll do sort, alphabetical order, and now it's swipe up and down for scrolling. There we go. I thought they enabled that default out of the box from the last set of, I think the S25 series. I don't know. Anyway, that's how to do that. The other thing I don't like is the split. So the quick settings and your notifications are split, kind of like how some of the non-US manufacturers have been doing it for a long time. So if you're not used to that here in the US, then you just go to settings, edit that, and we should be able to do panel settings and together. So there we go. And done. So now it's all one swipe. So swipe down for quick settings, or once for notifications, twice for quick settings, just like old school Android intended. There we go. Just quick checking chat real quick. One UI 8, never could use buttons, me neither. Yep, Tara, sort will make it swipe up. Exactly. All right, cool. But still some bloatware. I mean, depending on what you consider bloatware, it's still pretty minimal. Spotify, Facebook, Netflix. Anything else? Used to be a lot worse. That's not too bad there. Camera settings, because that's what I care about. There you go, quick controls. So that's been new since the S25, I believe. So that's where you get all your quick stuff on the bottom. Go to more settings. Well, the thing is that I don't like is that they don't include the camera assistant settings in here. You have to go to the Samsung store, download camera assistant to enable all those really good settings that should just be in settings. Things like disabling auto lens switching and all that stuff. They should just bake it into the regular settings. Shot suggestions, that's okay sometimes, I guess. Watermarking. Advanced options, log video should be up. Log video, so you can shoot log video on the Flip7. That's really good. And of course, Dex is on board. Actually, let's go and check. Dex, yep, there you go. Wireless Dex right there. So Dex on the flip phones finally. Finally. So yeah, Samsung's really making the flip phones much more capable. Let's get back to settings here. Advanced video options. So yeah, log video to me is a big deal. You can shoot log video here on Samsung. And I like that they're making log video accessible for people because they have auto color correction. So if you don't know how to color correct your video, you can still benefit from shooting in log, and Samsung will help auto correct it for you if that's what you want. Tracking autofocus, composition guide now. More and more manufacturers are working on this composition guide, trying to help you take better pictures. I know Google's working on some stuff as well. And I'm pretty sure they're going to start incorporating AI into those composition things, which would be kind of nice. You point your camera at something, probably suggest better ways to compose that and give you some suggestions with AI. That'd be nice. Shooting methods, things to keep, floating shutter. I don't like floating shutter, but pump captures by default. That's nice. That's usually not the case. Things to keep, pretty much everything. Camera mode, selfie angle, resolution filter, super steady. I just like to keep everything that I set. I don't want to manually go back and change things. And there, yeah, that's basic. So they really need to put in the camera assistant settings into the main camera app. It's really annoying. Let's see. Max zoom is still going to be 10x for your photos, which is kind of lame, but I get why they do that. They want you to get the more expensive and more capable devices. Video, you should be able to go up to no 8K, just 4K, 60. Max resolution there. With a max 10x zoom as well for video. All right, usual stuff, portrait. Let's see. Portrait video, should be able to go 4K with this. Actually, I don't know. This looks like default. There's usually like some option. There's a cover preview. You can see my camera. ZV1. There's the shotgun mic that I was trying to use before. Yeah, portrait video. Usually you can change this. Nope. Might just be stuck. Let's see. Yeah, nothing. All right. And then all the usual stuff: Pro Video, Pro Photo, Night Mode, Slow Motion, Hyperlapse, Portrait Video. Portrait Video, yeah, we just looked at that. Pro Video is always kind of nice. Some of Samsung's Pro controls. You can actually mess with the audio and audio directionality. It's always nice. So yeah, basic camera app from Samsung 10x max zoom on both photos and video. And double check one more time. No 8K video here. Ultra HD resolution. Yeah. Did I miss that in the specs? Let's take a look. Flip7. Let's go specs. So Flip7 specs. Let's get rid of this. So Flip7 specs. All right, well, almost had a drop test. But we may as well take a look for completeness. So Exynos 2500, I know a lot of people are probably up in arms about the Exynos 2500, but you know, if they're confident in it, they threw Dex in here. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine for most people. They do give you 12 gigs of RAM, 6.9-inch display, 1080p display though. You can see 188 grams, pretty light. Let's see. Yep, 1080p display, 21:9, Super AMOLED, 120 hertz, peak brightness, 2600 nits. Android 16, which it does come with One UI 8. We just verified Exynos 2500, 3nm chip though. UFS 4.0, that's a big deal. 256 gigs of storage is starting. This is the 512 because it was a free storage upgrade. And here's your camera specs. Let's get rid of that. 15 megapixel main shooter, 1/1.57, which is pretty good. Would like to see 1/1.3 at least, but I get why. It does have stabilization, and you get a Turo ultra wide. Probably not the greatest, but you get one. No telephoto lens, but it's because they're giving you the main lens and the outer display, so you should be able to take selfies with all it and all that stuff with the main camera. Yeah, 4K video, no 8K. Huh. No 8K, no 4K 120. 10 megapixel selfie camera that you shouldn't use because you have the exterior main camera and exterior display to be taking your selfies with on this, which is nice. 4K 60 on that camera though. Samsung usually does have pretty good audio and fingerprint sensors. Dex included, like we said. 4300 milliamp hour battery should be fine. 25 watt wire charging, which of course we all wish could be faster. This is Blue Shadow, comes in black. That's coral red. I do have pictures actually of this coral red. Let me see if I can find it. I just took these today at Best Buy. Let's go ahead and get rid of the screen share. Cool. So yeah, this is the coral red. Actually, let me turn on the brightness. Oh, maybe too low. All right, so that's coral red, which is very much a magenta. Like as soon as I picked it up, it was like, this is a magenta, bordering on pink. So this really should just be called coral and no red in the name, because this is definitely not red. This is red. That's red. That's coral. They should have left that coral. All right, so that is the Z Flip 7. Just checking chat real quick. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, that's the Flip 7. Stick that here. Z Fold 7. I think I'm gonna go with the black. I think everyone has the blue, and I've got blue in the Flip, and I've got blue in the S25 Plus. So let's go black with the Fold 7. I haven't had black on a phone in a while. Everything's been silver, blue, red. So let's go black. Z Fold 7. This is 512 gig, I think. I didn't get the terabyte. So yeah, real quick, just for the video. Z Fold 7, Samsung Fold 7. I like the pull tabs. Makes it very efficient. And there we go. Usual unboxing experience from Samsung. And again, for completeness, pull it out. SIM tool, terms and conditions, quick start guide, and Type-C cable. USB-C to USB-C. Stick all that back in there. And there's the Fold Black. So take off the sticker. I don't know why they put these things on the phone. It's really annoying. They should just keep it on the box or something. But there you go. Matte black. Or they call it jet black, I think. This is jet black. Well, it's a matte black. I like this. Probably fingerprinty, but there we go. And let's get rid of the box here. And let's see. Oh man, this thing came out like that, dude. That wasn't me. All right. Take it off. Pristine screen for the last time. And let's check in the crease into this light, and I'm really not seeing much of one. Are you? Like, you can see it right there faintly. So yeah, it looks like Samsung did improve that this year. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about the improved. I hate saying crease. Can we come up with another name for that? Does anybody have a better name for crease? Divide, center. But yeah, even feeling it, you can't really feel anything there. So yeah, well done Samsung this year, I think. And actually, to be fair, let's pull this off, because there isn't much to do about thinness of phones with screen protectors and such. So there you go. I mean, that is thin. Look at that. There. You can see the bolt-on cameras, which I don't have a problem with. I kind of like big cameras. Fit larger sensors in there. I'm all for a bigger camera housing. You can see with the size of the USB-C port pretty much. And then first fold. Yeah. It actually has more resistance, and it doesn't really clap super hard. So not really loud, and you can see there how thin it is folded. And like they say, same as the S25 Ultra. So there it is right next to the Ultra on the top. Bottom. You can put it down flat. And yeah, I mean, pretty much feels the same. A little shorter. And yeah, it feels really good. And it's really light. Super light. I mean, look at that hinge. This thing used to be way thicker, actually. Throw a box down. Let's try bringing Z Fold 6. RIP S Pen. So pull this off. I guess that's one thing that Fold 6 is still going to have over the Fold 7. But here we go. Yeah, I mean, it's way taller sitting down here. So it's shorter. I mean, obviously, Fold 6 is going to be much thicker. Fold 7's obviously much wider. You can see the difference in the hinge, though. Just look at that. So much thinner hinge. You can barely fit the Samsung lettering. That's pretty good. Top looks pretty much the same, though. And from the bottom. Yeah. I like the Fold 6, too. Fold 6, OnePlus Open. So Fold 6, I Fold 7 taller. OnePlus Open, obviously going to be thicker. You know, OnePlus Open was nice and thin and had a really good profile at the time. There it is from the bottom. And then you can kind of see the hinges back to back. They've always did a good job, the OnePlus, with that hinge. It makes it look thinner profile than it really is. Obviously, the really huge camera module. Better cameras. We got Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I got the leather skin on it because I don't use this with any case. I just like making it pretty much like the OnePlus Open with kind of that leather feel back, no case. And I haven't had a problem with it. I don't use a case with the Open. Never use a case with the 9 Pro Fold. Never had a problem. Just got some grip for it. Throw on a front screen protector and you're all good. But Fold 7, slightly taller. And you can see the hinge this way. Fold 7, obviously thinner. And from the top, much thinner. You know, this profile here. So yeah, I mean, I did like the 9 Pro Fold. I do like the changes they made, except for this massive hinge on the side. But it is thinner, lighter, and you can see all of them here. And really, of all the previous folds, the 6, the OnePlus Open, and the 9 Pro Fold, I actually liked the Z Fold 6 the best. I really thought I was going to like the OnePlus Open the best. I don't know. I think the camera module got in the way too much for everyday use. Usually, I can put up with large camera modules. I mean, look at this thing. But then the Pixel, the cameras, well, Pixel's processing is good and can make up for it. It just wasn't good enough for me. I didn't really like it as much, and so the Fold was kind of like that. Fold 6 was kind of in the middle device. Like the cameras were good enough, not as good as the Open, but better than the Pixel, and just overall easier to handle because the module was much smaller. Um, it was narrower, so even though it was thick, it was narrower, so it's a lot easier to handle, and it's shorter as well. So it's quite easy to pocket. The only thing I didn't like about this, not necessarily the thickness, but the weight. This thing felt still a little bit too heavy, a little bit more like a brick in your pocket, kind of like the S25 Ultra. But I welcome a wider front screen. I welcome a thinner device, but more than anything, a thinner device because I do have the Honor Magic V2. This is the V2 global version. So I did use this for a time, and I like it because it has that classic Oppo leather, full leather back. So no need a case, even though it does come one. And this was one of the first to be super thin. So even though this is thicker, I think this is like 4.8 inches instead of 4.3 or whatever that the Fold 7 is. But this was probably the first Fold that I've personally used and held that felt like a regular phone, you know? So usable OLED display, and just using it like that, it just looks like a regular phone, feels like a regular phone. It's light enough in my pocket to where it feels like a regular phone, and then you can still open it up, you know? So the cameras were pretty good on this. I just think the Honor software is a little bit dated. Kind of reminds me of like the old Huawei EMUI. I don't think Honor kind of patterned it after that. I think it kind of has that feel, and I don't think they've really updated the look and feel of it for a while, so it just feels dated to me. But overall, and the camera module doesn't get in the way either. It's a pretty nice camera module versus the circle that they've gone to, but I don't think their circle is maybe necessarily as large. But anyway, we can put that here as well. And we'll put Fold 7 in the middle. So that's that. Ironically, they're all black. I didn't really realize that until I had them in front of me. I say I didn't get a black phone in a while yet. All the folds here are black. And we'll power this one on. Check the chat real quick. All right, Jay Will's here. Jay Will in the building. Thank you, sir, for tuning in. Appreciate that. And I've been watching all your coverage since the New York trip, which I'm very happy that you got invited back this year. I think you've been deserving to go all these years, but glad that you made it back there. Looked like a fun event. I mean, it's New York. How can it not be fun? But super grateful or glad that you got selected again and that you got some devices so that we could get all that content because you do rapid fire stuff, man. I don't know how you do that. But yeah, still some bezel around this thing though. Look at it. I thought it would have been a little bit more borderless, but okay. And we'll just breeze through this real quick. Ike says he still misses the open. Ike, is this your so you had the open? Did you have the 6? So is the Fold 7 your only device foldable right now? Not that it's the only foldable, but it's a really good one, obviously. Best one we got here. Set up later. Don't copy, skip. Again, this is hilarious. Check your region. Depending on your region, you may have to restrict inappropriate content in Samsung apps for minors, and they specifically call out Utah. That has to be a Utah law. Other state, next, because other states, we don't care, especially here in California. And then your usual learn how to use a fold warning, don't do dumb things with it, and you'll be fine. That's really what it says. Home screen, there you go. And this should be One UI 8, not EMUI 8, One UI 8. And let's turn off all the music and sounds. And we'll hit about software. There you go. And actually, we should just open this up. That one makes more sense. And we'll turn on the brightness. And there we go. So One UI version 8.0, Android 16 with the June security update. I'm sure July is downloading because July downloaded on all my other Samsung devices. Now let's get up here. Display, go right to dark mode. That's a lot better, a lot clearer. And pretty much I'm sure it's going to be a lot of the same stuff that we already went through on the Flip. Let's see if it has the navigation. Let's get rid of that. Display, navigation bar, swipe gestures. And let's see if it does the same thing. Yeah, still horizontal scrolling by default. I don't know why. Alphabetical order. I'm pretty sure the S25 came with it on by default. Does anybody like the page-based horizontal scrolling in Samsung? I'm sure some people do, just because Samsung's been doing it for years. Some people just have that probably as muscle memory. They probably don't like this vertical thing, so maybe that's why they're keeping the default as the pages. But again, same apps installed as you saw on the Flip. Spotify, Facebook, Netflix, which Netflix Happy Gilmore. Who's watching Happy Gilmore too? I'm definitely gonna watch that this weekend. And yeah, getting rid of the side pull down menus. So one side for settings, other side for notifications. We'll just hit edit, panel settings together, and that just makes it all better. So back to the way Android is meant to be. First swipe down is your notifications, and second pull down, full quick settings. That's how it should be, and don't try to tell me otherwise. But yeah, this is not, I mean, look at this again. Check out the crease, non-existent, man. That's gotta be as good or close to the non-US foldables. I mean, that's definitely better than any of these down here for sure. Yeah, and actually this hinge feels good. It's spring loaded, much more spring loaded. Like you feel it here, it'll open up to here, and then it'll just spring load open. So once you kind of break it, it requires some force once you kind of close it this way to actually close it up, which is probably a good thing. So it just feels there's a lot more resistance in it to close and to open initially. And once you open it about 3/4 of the way, it just springs open. So I'm kind of liking that hinge versus Fold 6. Yeah, Fold 6 is kind of resistance all the way. 3/4, and you still gotta really force it open. Versus much more spring load action on the Fold7. Yeah, and then it springs open. That's kind of typical. I think that's how most other non-US phones with the more advanced hinges work. Much more spring loaded. So good to see Samsung with that. Yeah, I mean, this is nice. We'll get it all set up, and I don't know. People don't really care for camera comparisons for folds, so let me know. If you're watching this after, or if I clip this out and put into a separate video, let me know if you want to see camera comparisons with the folds. Most people don't care about cameras on foldables. That's not really why you're buying a foldable. But I would like to see some better ones, you know? Like, it's nice that they have the S25 Ultra main 200 megapixel sensor in here. Although, is it the S25 Ultra? If anybody in the chat knows, is it really the Ultra sensor, or is it more like the S25 Edge sensor? Which I don't think the Edge sensor is exactly the Ultra sensor, even though they say that. But I've heard some controversy on that. I've heard like the Edge sensor, yes, 200 megapixels. I think similar sensor size, but not the same sensor. But I could be wrong. Samsung says it's the same sensor. And that should be the same sensor that's in this Fold. Either way, at least you do have a telephoto. I would like to see a better telephoto periscope zoom lens in this thing. At least what they have on the Ultra, because even though the Ultra still doesn't compete with things like this as far as periscope, it is pretty good. Like both of their telephotos, the 3 and 5x, you know, they're not the largest sensors, but they are telemacro lenses, so you can get close up with the telephoto, which is nice if you like macro stuff. And you know the depth of field is gonna be okay. I mean, it's not gonna be nearly as good as the larger sensors like you get on the HP9 sensor on this thing, but you know, S25 Ultra sensor, different glass. Okay, that would make sense because it can't be exactly the same. Otherwise, what's the point, right? They gotta kind of keep some things to the Ultra, so that makes sense. But and I don't know where I put my Edge. I know I just had it before this because I was showing it on the stream. All right, anyway. All right, that's the Flip and the Fold. There's the watch. Put the Ultra away, Honor away, Fold 6 away. So that's Flip. That's Fold. And this is watch 8. This is the watch 7. And this is the watch Ultra. Again, I'm not getting the class. I ordered the Classic because I was getting FOMO with watching everyone else with their Classic. And I said, no, I think I'll cancel the Classic order because I had the Ultra and I like the Ultra. I like using this occasionally, but just the weight and size of it got kind of not annoying, but once I went to a more classic round shape like this and just the lighter, thinner profile, even though I don't get it, I get probably half the battery life. I just got used to wearing this and it's just more comfortable, especially this band. I like this band, this dark gray band. These colors and feel, everything's really nice about this band. So I like the 7, so that's why I ordered the 8. I think I'm gonna stick with the 8. I would normally just stick with the 7. Like if I wasn't doing videos and stuff, I would just stick with my 7 because I like this. Even though the battery life is maybe a little over a day. But on with the new, man. We're into tech. We're got YouTube channel here, so we got to go with the new, something new. Watch 8. Even though people won't be as into the Watch 8, I know. I think I'm gonna like this. I've already got some bands coming, and what's nice is the bands for this, they work like the Ultra. They're really easy, clip out, clip in, versus like the actual hooks that you have to use for the 7. Some people like it, some people don't, but the benefit of the 8 is you can't use the Ultra band on any of these, because the Ultra is too big. But any of the Watch 8 bands, whether you have the smaller size of this or the 44 that I have, this is the 44 millimeter, or if you have the Watch 8 Classic, there's the same band for all 3 of those watches. That's nice. So if you get third-party bands or other bands, and you get more than one of these, because some people will, they'll get this for, you know, active sports and activities, and they might get the Classic because they want something that looks a little bit nicer. The bands will work through all 3 of those watches, which is actually nice. Of course, they're new bands, so you can't use your previous bands, which, you know, Everyone's got to make money. You can thank capitalism. And there you go. And the usual Samsung stuff in here. This should be your paperwork and your charger. So quick start guide. I'm guessing the other side. Yep. Charging cable. I'm going to guess hopefully it's the same charger. Looks like it. So you got, let's see. Yeah, it should be the same charger as the previous watches. Type-C charging on one end and the hockey puck magnetic charger on the other end. Quick start guide. And then here's the watch 8 in silver. I like the silver just because, you know, I like silver watches. Obviously, that's why I got the watch 7. I like the look of this actually, round. I know people like the squircle, the square thing. I think I still like the circle, but this could grow on me. You get more of that bezel, a little bit more of that shine. And then the back is white. There you go. And the quick release tabs on either side. And I think that's it. Shouldn't, there's the band, of course. So it comes with a white band with the silver base. I don't think I like this band as much as this band. Like this band looks more rugged and it's thicker. It's got the ridges on the outside. It just looks nicer. It is definitely thicker than this band. So, but you have the ridges on the inside for whatever reason. Like I would think you'd want the smooth side on the inside and this kind of textured side on the outside. I would think, but what do I know? I'm not a designer, but let's see if I struggle putting these bands on. Probably. All right, push in. Oh, there you go. Yeah, just push in on the release mechanism and it snaps right in. That was quick. Same thing, push in and snaps in. There you go. Yeah. The only thing is it doesn't go flat. I mean, you can see it right here. It wants to just bend all the time. So that could bother some people because this watch 7, and don't laugh, I have a major watch 10 because I've been golfing a lot lately. But the watch 7 Fold, you know, it's because it has the typical watch band with the pins. So this can go flat perfectly and lay flat. And this one will not. I mean, you can probably make it go flat. And I know that's going to annoy some people, which is why I bring it up. I don't really care one way or the other. You see the white back versus the black back. Just turn this on real quick. Okay. Top button or bottom button? Just press them both. And we might, oh no, there we go. Man, it takes a long time. Oh, rebooting. I messed it up by pressing both buttons. But it takes a long time on these first boots. All right, chat. Still torn on grabbing the classic. Actually, can I put comments on this thing? I think I can. Comments, yes. Oh, look at that. Fancy. Still torn on grabbing the classic. I still have my Watch 5 Pro. I want the battery of my Pro and Ultra, but with the bezel of the classic. Yes, that would be nice. I'm all for rotating bezel, but it's so big. Like I used to like that because it has that classier look. It has that more work style look. And that's what I loved about the earlier Galaxy watches. Like the Frontier and the original Galaxy watch and all that stuff. But maybe it's just me getting older. I want something just thinner, lighter, more simple. And this watch 7 has kind of been that for me. So I think I'm gonna like the watch 8 because of that. It's just thinner, lighter. And I think it actually has a bigger display, this 44 millimeter, than the classic. The classic, I think actually I heard has a smaller display. It just looks bigger because it's got that big bezel. So you actually get a bigger display, which is nice. Actually, let me hide that. Bigger display, which is nice. And, you know, you don't get the huge bezel that can look nice, but I think it gets in the way too much. And, you know, I don't really wear nice watches or go to a lot of nice places. So I've been wearing This has been doing me fine day in and day out. So I think this just fits my lifestyle and kind of what I've been liking lately more. So I'm gonna go with this. I've got some new third-party watch bands coming in because I don't know if I just want to stick with this white. Um, I want to get this color back. There's a band that looks almost exactly like this, pretty much for this style of band. So I got some third-party bands in a few different colors coming in. So and they're pretty inexpensive, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna feel just as good. But anyway, that's that one. And let's actually just put this on real quick. And actually, let's put the Ultra watch in here. There you go. So Ultra, Watch 7, and then the 8. Should I put this on? All right, there we go. So for anybody wondering, I am 6 feet tall. Um, Oddly enough, I have different size wrists. My right wrist is much bigger than my left wrist. I think that was from a injury that I had early on. You can see the bone right here. I kind of swelled up the wrist a bit, and it's kind of just been that way. But anyway, you can see how it fits on my wrist. Don't mind the arm here. I can't help that. But yeah, I like that, and you can see how it compares to the 7 here. Pretty close. You see more of the bezel because of the squircle. It's not perfectly round. So it's up to you what you like more. I think a lot of people like the squircle now because they're used to it. I like round, but that's me. And here it is next to the Ultra. Which, did anybody in here get the Watch Ultra, the new one, the blue one? And is the new one new, or is it just the same Ultra watch except they're selling it in blue? Because they call it Watch Ultra 2025. But is that just because it's now comes in blue, or is there anything different? I'm guessing it's the same, just comes in blue. So that's that. Let me check the chat. Tara, I like the way the new Samsung bands are. I don't care for proprietary bands of the Pixel Watch. I have a hard time getting that on and off. Yeah, the Pixel Watch can be tricky, for sure. But I think, oh, because you know why? Because Pixel has a sliding mechanism. That's right. That's kind of tricky. You have to kind of get it in one side and slide it to lock it in. This one's at least a little bit easier, even though it's proprietary. At least it's like a quick release, and you don't have to deal with pins. And I think some people are finding it tricky with this new one, but you just got to remember to push the release mechanism in first, and then it just snaps on. So I think that's a lot easier than trying to line up some pins. But you probably get more options when you have the pin style with third parties and stuff. But Samsung is so huge that I already see a bunch of third party Watch 8 bands on Amazon. So Samsung's popular. There'll be a lot of third party stuff for it. It just sucks that you can't use existing watch bands because, people got to make money and that's just how it is. Jay, I'm going to get the new Watch 8 and keep my current Ultra. Yeah, that was my thinking too. I'm keeping the Ultra and I like the 7, so let's just get the 8. And this is super lightweight. Like, I mean, if you are more of an active lifestyle and you like to work out, you're out and about, you're not in an office, I think you're gonna like this a lot better. Like the classic may look cool or the ultra may look cool and all that, but after a while, I think the big and chunkiness wears off. And it's nice to wear every now and then, but for an everyday thing, especially if you're always active, like this is just the way to go. I think it's like you still get a big display if you want it in the 44 millimeter, but it's still gonna be so much thinner, lighter. Bezel won't bang on things. In a bigger outer bezel, I think you might have a chance of banging on things. The only thing about this is that you don't have the bezel to protect it. So the classic, the bezel raises up a little bit, so it might protect the display more. But I think you can bang that rotating bezel on things if you're always hitting things with your watches. I don't do it as often, but I know a lot of people complain about that. Um, so I think those are the benefits to this active. I mean, other than being a lot more inexpensive, spend a lot less money. It's thinner, lighter, same software. Um, and actually, let's see. Let me specs. Yeah, so Watch 8 and Watch 8 Classic. So right here, let's see. Yeah, so you get the rotating bezel. Obviously, the classic's gonna be larger. Classic's on the right. Yeah, see, 1.47 inches on the Watch 7 and 1.34 inches on the classic. So you do get a bigger display on this standard Watch 8 versus the classic. I mean, that's just weird to me. You do get double the storage, same amount of RAM on the classic. But I don't know who's using 64 gigs in your watch. I mean, I guess if you like to go and listen to a lot of music and you don't want to take your phone, I can see that. But that's still a big music collection to take just for a workout. Um, what else can you do on your watch that requires onboard data? Like maps? Offline maps? I don't know. You get a bigger, slightly bigger battery on the classic, 435 versus 445 on the classic. Not by much, but a smaller display. So bigger battery, smaller display on the classic. You should get better battery life on the classic, but I doubt by a lot. So yeah, I mean, it's up to you if the extra money is worth it on the classic. If you want something that looks classier, looks more office friendly, then yeah, the classic. Want to save some money, you have a more active lifestyle, you like the bigger screen. You still have a bezel. It's just not a physical bezel, but it's that, you know, touch capacitive bezel. You can still rotate that around just like you can on the Watch 7, just like this, you know. You can still do that. So yeah. So that's that, I think. Let's check the chat real quick. Uh, I'd grab the 8 Classic, but we'll keep the 7 Ultra. Probably look great next year. Yeah. I mean, I don't see any reason to get rid of the Ultra. The Ultra is really good, especially if you value battery life, although that's maybe like 2 days. You can stretch it into the third day. But if you're doing a lot of activity, you're tracking a lot of activity, probably 2 days. I'm getting comfortably 2 days with the Ultra. And that's with my like, daily walks and other workouts and whatever else. And with the Watch 7 that I have, that's like a day, maybe just over a day, but you'll have to charge it every night if you want to go the next day without charging. And Hawks, thank you for confirming. The Ultra this year is just last year's watch with that blue color. Awesome. And Tech King Mike is here. What's up, Mike? Great stream last night. Unboxing your Fold. That's really cool. And it's good to see you again, man. Hopefully you and the fam are doing really well. And okay. You can get fancy and do some picture-in-picture stuff. But yeah, Watch Ultra, Watch 7, Fold, and let's do the Flip. So I'm keeping the Ultra in the picture because they released the Ultra this year in blue. This is not that one, but whatever. If you just want to see it compared to the 7 and then to the standard 8, the new Flip 8, the new Fold 7. So yeah, that's that. Cool. Got to the unboxing and part of the ecosystem, Buds Pro. Anybody in the chat have Buds Pro? This actually surprised me. I got this one. They had a special, they got a deal on it, has some gift certificates. So the Buds Pro have surprised me. These actually sound really, really good. And they're really good for phone calls too. So good all around buds. They sound a lot better than I thought they would. And they give a lot of earbuds a run for their money. And for the price category they're in, I think they're one of the best. I think the OnePlus Buds 3 Pro that I had, or I still have, pair that with a OnePlus phone, and those might actually be a little bit better, I think. Maybe a little deeper bass, even if you kind of play with all the settings and stuff with a Samsung phone connected to these. But this is still pretty bass forward, which I was pretty surprised for earbuds. Really good. I was skeptical because all I heard was really good things online. And when I only hear good things online, I get really skeptical. And so eventually I caved and got them for myself. And yeah, they are really good. And the case is plasticky and it looks nice, but it feels a bit cheap, to be honest. But I think the whole point is to keep it lightweight. I do like that they're transparent and see through. And, you know, I think they look nice in silver. Although they kind of look like bolts in your head, kind of like Frankenstein, to be honest, when I'm wearing them. I don't know, but they sound good. Phone calls are good. Battery life is good. And they sound good with Samsung phones and you tweak the settings. Noise cancellation is also pretty good. Um, I walk around a neighborhood with tons of cars and it gets noisy, so noise cancellation definitely works. Anyway, I know it's not about the buds, but I figured we're unboxing Samsung stuff. We've got the whole ecosystem here, so there we go. All right, cool. So that's the unboxing. If no other questions or anything else, pretty pretty efficient for me. Got through it in an hour on a Friday afternoon. So yeah, I mean, hopefully everyone's having a good Friday. Everyone have any weekend plans? Um, Hopefully where you are, you're doing well, you're safe, because I know there's some pretty crazy weather going on out there, and we're lucky here. I think in Northern California, weather's been really nice actually. I think we might be in the 70s. Let's see what this says. Yep, it says we are 73 degrees here today during the summer. So, not to make anyone jealous, but it is sunny and 73 degrees here during the summer in Northern California. So, no complaints there. I know there's other people roasting and other things going on. So, wherever you are, hopefully you're staying safe. You're not getting into too much trouble. And I think we'll probably cut the stream there. I mean, got through all the unboxing. I'll probably cut these and put them out as shorter videos just for the hell of it. If there's anything else you want to see as far as coverage that I can help bring, there's already a ton of coverage out there. Folks in the chat have the Fold. I've been putting out some videos on this thing. Um, if you want to see camera comparisons, I don't know that people really care about foldable camera comparisons very much. Might do it just for the hell of it, especially since now they included supposedly the S25 Ultra sensor in this thing. We can see, but I'm gonna go and find wherever I put my edge because I swear I had it when the stream started and I can't find it. But I'm sure it's buried under all this tech. Like if you could see my desk right now, like I have a pile of a whole bunch of stuff here, and um, I've had a bunch of devices pile up since I haven't been making videos. I feel terrible about that, but I might go back and do some of those. I know it's really late, so if you are still hanging out and you do actually see this part of the stream, let me know if you want to see some of those older devices. I think just between you and me, I've got the OnePlus 13R. I'm just looking at my desk. I got a 13R. I've got the S24 FE. I've got the Pixel 9a. So a lot more mid to budget stuff, but I think that's also important to showcase because those devices are pretty good now. They're more than good enough for a lot of people. And I know I've done camera comparisons with like the mid to low stuff, and people are really interested. And I know a lot of people are still interested in searching my channel for one iPhone 13 stuff. Like iPhone 13, people are still really looking for. So that goes to tell you, man. I think a lot of people are buying or looking for older iPhones when they need when they need a phone and they want an iPhone. They're looking for old stuff and they're looking for as 13 model seems popular, which makes sense. iPhone 13 series was super popular all the way up to the max, but people are looking for the standard 13. I love the 13 mini. So I might get my hands on another iPhone 13 just for hell of it, just to see how it's holding up. Because I think those you can get for under 300 bucks right now. But yeah, anyway. Okay, I'm just rambling. Tara the Hawk says it's 96 here, but you're in like Vegas, right? So you're in the desert, so it should be hot there. Yeah. So I think that's gonna wrap it up. I'm just rambling right now. Thank you for everyone who showed up today. I didn't really expect anyone to show up just because I don't stream at all. And I just wanted to kind of just do this live so I can cut it up for a video later. But yeah, let me know what you want to see for coverage. You care about the camera comparison stuff, let me know. Yeah, and hopefully everyone has a good weekend. And we'll see you later if I can figure out how to cut the stream. Thanks, everyone.